I am attempting to map out the first phase of Michael Vaughan. If any of you are interested, I know I don't have anyone on here yet, but when you play it back, you can watch it. So if any of you are interested in learning how to do location astrology, I learned from watching Kirsty McIntosh. I still have a lot to learn. I'm in the very early phases of learning, videos of learning criminal astrology and criminal forensic location astrology for crime and mapping. So I wanted to show you pretty much show how amazing astrology is, especially in the Michael Vaughan's case, watching Kirsty. She has already done phase, the 911 chart. I'm also going to map out the 911 chart because I'm going to need to do that when I map out. I'm probably going to have phase 1. I'm probably going to have phase 2. I'm probably going to have like phase 3, phase 4. Hey, Susie Q. Happy New Year. So, because I really am having a hard time narrowing down when he was moved from the yard, okay? So law enforcement feels very strongly that Michael Vaughan was moved out of his backyard, and, that the neighbors are involved somehow, and these suspects here, Sarah Wanderer, Adrian, Brandon Shurtleff, and Stacy Wanderer are listed as primary suspects. So this is just going to be, a lot of maps, I feel like, in the end. And hopefully I can provide some type of direction, some type of location. So I just wanted to show you pretty much astrology, okay? Now, Kirsty has already done this part that I'm going to show you. She's already done. So if you are interested in learning this, please check out Kirsty. She teaches us how to do this. She's actually done a video on how to do the mathematics and everything. Let me see. Here's her book. It's pretty destroyed because I use it so much. But by Kirsty McIntosh, Understanding the Crime Charts. The other book that I use is Forensic Astrology for Everyone by Caroline Luleys. And let me just give some actual shout outs to a couple of other channels that are amazing in astrology. Let me see. I want to tell you guys about Astrology for Mystics. Jen. Is another channel you should check out. I just found her through Missy. Missy is another amazing astrologer you should check out. Here's her channel information. I think this is her. I just want to kind of give her a shout out. She's done a lot of work on Sebastian Rogers. Yeah, here she is. So she just did a live stream the other day for Sebastian. She does really in detail maps, okay? Like I said, I'm a student. I'm still learning this stuff. So she does really intense mapping, layers of mapping, and you should check her out. She's amazing. Very knowledgeable person. Missy is another one. Let's see. These are amazing women. So, you know, I like them. So I just want to kind of tell you about their channels. These are just other astrologers that, you know, do astrology like me. So here's Missy's channel, Missy Forensic Astrology. Okay, she's another channel that I watch. Of course, Kirsty McIntosh. Here's her channel. Okay, these are amazing people that are knowledgeable, okay? And then Val Evans, she's another amazing astrologer. You can learn a lot from watching them and just absorbing their channels, right? She's another amazing astrologer. A beautiful lady. Here's Val Evans' account. So if you're interested in learning astrology, and she has a book. She has 2 books out, I believe. So, yeah, she's an amazing astrologer too. So I just kind of want to give a shout out to, you know, a couple of astrologers that I use. These are some books that you can get when you start breaking down astrology. Asteroid Goddesses. This is another book that you should get when you start doing this. The Rulership Book by Rex E. Bills. The other book is, you know, learning. I know this looks like a lot, but, you know, learning William Lilly. I made a mistake. I got it in Old English. It's written in Old English, but there is an American version of this, but learning Christian astrology, because he is the founder of Horror Astrology. This is another book that I like to read. The Horror Ray textbook by John Frawley. That's another one. I just got this book for Christmas. I got these 2 books for Christmas. This was my Christmas gifts. So the Asteroid book and the Horror Ray textbook. So, you know, I'm trying to learn as much as I can, guys. It's a lot. So, you know, those are things that I would start off with. But you have to know a little bit of your basics first before you start anything like that. So I just kind of wanted to give a shout out to some of the great astrologers on YouTube that have inspired me to want to learn astrology, okay? All right, so here is Michael's little area. Okay, so let's see if I can get it. So I gotta, hold on, I'm gonna shut the curtain because there's like a glare. All right, so this is the last known location of Michael Vaughan. Right in this area here. He was seen on the corner of Arizona and Southwest 9th Street, okay? So in this area right here. So when I look at his chart, I'm going to try to figure out a mile marker, right? So I look for patterns inside the wheel of any numbers that constantly repeat themselves. So, and then I have at the root of the matter is 1.7. So I'm going to start with my first mile marker at 1.7. I'm just going to write it down here so I keep track. IC line, mile marker, 1.7 to 17 miles. Okay. I know, the real Gemini, I will get you, okay? Sorry, I was getting really tired last night. We went on until like 4:30 in the morning, I think. So I will get you next time, okay? I'll text you. I promise. I felt bad because I didn't get you or Brooke. So no worries, okay? Thanks for being here, guys. Okay, so you go to Scribble Maps. You can't do this stuff on Google Maps, guys. You got to get Scribble Maps. So here is his last known location. And on this chart, this is at 6:30, I have Michael Vaughan being ruled by Sagittarius, okay? So that means that this planet right here is Michael Vaughan, all right? Jupiter. And it's interesting because Jupiter is at a 0 degrees. That's a critical degrees in astrology. It's a beginning and it's an end. And if you look, I have a couple of 0 degrees making an appearance on the chart. So he is at 0 degrees DNA, which means just that, DNA. Kirsty teaches us how to look these asteroids up. If you watch her channel, you go and you plug in 55555. That's the asteroid number for DNA, okay? And it means just that. It's interesting that DNA is at a 0 degrees as well. And it's conjunct right on the doorway at a critical degrees, changing signs. So this is a major transformation for Michael, okay? Is being at a critical degrees of a beginning and an end, opposing Mars and Venus. Now, I have entered name placements and asteroid names. I also entered car, lie, lying. It means just that, someone being a liar. I entered Stacy. Now, I only have one Stacy, so that would be representative of Stacy Wanderer. Not accusing Stacy Wanderer of doing anything, but he is showing up in the house that rules murderers, and it rules the open enemy, to a victim. It's the house of murder, transformation, death, rebirth, things like that. And I also have one asteroid, Sarah, Sara. So in that spelling, that's the only other asteroid that I have. Now I had two other Sarahs spelled with an H that show up in the open enemy. So you think of what's the opposite of our victim? Our victim is the AC line. The open enemy rules the DC line. Killers can rule the 8th house and the 7th house, okay? Or just people who might mean our victim harm can show up in this house here. And I have them all showing up in weird spots. Now, again, all suspects that I mention on my channel will always be given the presumption of innocence. This is just astrology. You really shouldn't take it as fact. It's just interesting how this stuff kind of plays out. But in the womb, in the tomb, I have a Brandon. In an open enemy, I have a Brandon. In an open enemy, I have a Sarah. In a house that rules killers, I have a Sarah. In the house that rules open enemy and killers, I have a Stacy. And I have an Adrian showing up in the first house. I have an Adrian showing up at a 0 degrees in the 9th house as well. So I found 3 Adrians, 2 Brandons, 2 Sarahs, 1 Stacy in the asteroid data bank, okay? So you just look in the asteroid data bank and you try to match up suspects' names or victims' names to an asteroid, okay? And then it's kind of like rolling the dice. You want to take those names that are floating in the sky above Michael's head when he goes missing, and it's like rolling dice, and you want to see where they appear on the wheel. And it's just sucks that pretty much so all of our suspects are in the 2 houses that rule an open enemy to Michael. Okay, which sucks. And Adrian showing up in the first house here puts him in the vicinity. It puts him in the vicinity of where Michael is at 6:30. He could be directly in front of their face, in front of Michael's face, or he could be in or near the area, pretty close by, right? So the first house rules the victim, 7th house and 8th house rules killers. So I have Adrian showing up in the first house. I have Pluto in there, opposed the sun, which means that there's someone that could be older or an authority. Anyone would really show as an authority to Michael because he's just a child, right? He's just 5 years old. Anyone's going to show kind of bigger than him. So let's just map out Jupiter and the mile marker and see if it takes me to where the Wanderer's house is. And it does. So it's kind of actually really amazing how astrology does this. So he would be at the 330 degrees. I've already done the math. Even though he's on a cusp, I'm going to use a 330 degree because he's at a 0 degree. So, and the mile marker is 1.7 miles. I could do 1.6 miles, 1.4 miles, because these are repetitive numbers. I could do 1.9. So I'm going to do 1.7 because it's in the womb and in the tomb. From Michael's last known location. That's 1.7, and that takes me right by the Wanderer's house, right? Because here's the Wanderers. There's my mile marker. Now let's do the degree of the planet that rules Michael. This planet represents Michael on a crime chart, okay? This is his last known location where he was spotted and seen. So we're going to do 330 degrees. There's my 330 marker. And we're going to follow that all the way out to the mile marker and see where it takes me. And this is Location Astrology. And this is how amazing it is. Because 330 degrees takes me to this man's backyard, to the Wanderer's backyard, right through the side yard. Now, tell me that that's not amazing. That astrology, which is ancient, doesn't get it right sometimes. Okay? So, look at that. This line is ruling, it's the planet that's ruling the victim. And that can't be a coincidence. I'm sorry. It's to me, that's just, it can't be a coincidence. Okay? Now, of course, the Wanderers, Adrian and Brandon, will be given the presumption of innocence, but it does map out. And we'll zoom in real close to see where that line goes through in the backyard. Okay. Right through here. You guys see that? We're doing location astrology. Thank you. So that's pretty crazy that it takes us through the Wanderer's yard, the Wanderer's house. And right here is the mile marker. So it's close by. Looks like the yard is still kind of dug up when this satellite photo was done. Now, the spirit box session that I did, I have a spirit box session that says he was buried in the side of the yard. That's just a spirit box. That's separate from astrology. You can't take a spirit box as fact. But I do have spirits talking about where Michael was buried in the yard, and they said side yard. So I find that very interesting. It's always right. It's humans who read it that make mistakes, but you're good. Yeah. Human error is very capable in astrology because we're doing math and we can easily miss a number and mess up. Okay, but I'm not the only astrologer that has mapped that out. Now, I have mapped out a couple of other addresses connected to this case, like Brandon's. I found two addresses for Brandon's mom, Tina. I did enter them. So we'll see where else this goes. So the other line I want to do is Saturn, because it will make a pie for me. So I have Saturn at the 10th degree. Let me turn on my little light because I can't see. So again, in Kirsty's book, she teaches us how to, do the degrees, okay? And the directions. Aries is east. And Libra is west. Cancer is north. And Sagittarius is south, okay? So she teaches us how to do this in her book. Right. So Saturn is at 10 degrees. So that's 310 degrees I would need to map out. So 310. You guys doing okay? Hey, Amy. It's good to see you, love. Hey, Brooke. So I will end up having, I'm sure, a bunch of maps because I'm still trying to really narrow down when he may have been moved from this house. Saturn rules your DNA. It rules your hair, your skin, your nails, your teeth, and your skeletal remains. It also kind of rules a dead body, okay? So 310. I'm going to take Saturn all the way out. I should take Jupiter all the way out too. I just wanted to kind of show you. Takes me across the river, Snake River. takes me to Ontario. Okay. And I'll push out Jupiter to match that as well. Because Jupiter was 330. And this line rules the victim. Now, Saturn is in Aquarius and on the cusp of Pisces. So that to me is a lot of fresh water for where Saturn is. Jupiter, his ruling planet, the house that that's sitting in as well, can rule high places, near railroad tracks, near running fresh water. He could be near fresh running water. High cliffs, things like that. Places that are scenic, places that are beautiful is Aquarius. Places that have uneven ground, rough ground, wells, waterways, sewers, water runoffs, things that have a conduit is all Aquarius energy. Whether that be man-made, like a fountain can rule Aquarius because it's water flowing, if you think he's the water bearer. So in this pie, hey Bev, in this pie would be, for me, a hot spot for Michael because it's Saturn, which rules the physical DNA and a skeleton of a person, and it's the planet that's ruling him at 6:30 p.m. So, and, you know, unfortunately, it does map out the Wanderer's house in that pie section. So there could be evidence of Michael in this area. There could be people who saw him in this area on this pie section as well. So that's his last known location, seen here on the corner of Arizona and Southwest 9th Street. Where is Kuna? Give me 1 second. And here. Down here. A few miles away. So I did map out a couple of addresses for Brandon and his mom. I think I have 2. Just curious if it will map out. Okay, so let's do the AC line and the AC line and the IC line for Michael. 17 degrees. Should map out 17 miles too, just to be safe. Sorry guys, I get really quiet when I do this because I'm focusing, you know. Everybody doing okay? I know. I agree, Brooke. There is too much. I agree, Bev. It's heartbreaking. I mean, I still have to remind you guys that even though astrology has been used for many generations to find missing items, locate jewelry, stolen items, missing pets, it also has found people. But I still have to tell you that, you know, this you have to form your own opinions, come to your own conclusions, you know, and, you know, take it with a grain of salt. It's just astrology. It doesn't mean that you have to take it as fact. I have to remind you guys of that. But it is pretty interesting when it maps out things like this and it matches up with a crime, and it just still blows my mind. It really does. Okay, so I want to map out the 17th degree in Aries because the chart is in Aries, so that's a 0 degree. So I would just do the number 17 for that one. It's hard to get it when it's down in the low teens to balance. It's really touchy. Now this is in the womb and in the tomb. The root of the matter and how it all turns out is the IC line. So there could definitely be a clue or something here. I might push that line out farther, but I'm just trying to get, I just kind of want to get the bearings in, and then I can go back through later and make it look really pretty for you guys. Right now, I'm just trying to get my basics in, get my bearings in about the map. And then I can kind of like mess with it a little later. All right, so the DC line, the MC line, the AC line are important too. All right, so let's do the MC line. In Libra. (180 degrees is Libra. Takes me to 197 degrees for the MC. Well, this was another address that one of the suspects once lived at. I mean, it came up. I don't know if it's true or not. I have no idea. I just kind of plumped it there. I don't know if it has anything to do with this case or not. Okay, I just wanted to see where it mapped out because it is a property that might be familiar with some of the suspects. Not accusing the suspects. I just plumped it in there because I was curious. 197. What did I say, 197? Yeah, 197. So that takes me over Route 84. All right, let's look at AC and DC, which AC line rules victim, DC line rules open enemy. So I have Sagittarius. So we know that Sagittarius is 240 degrees. It is kind of, you know, the victim line and the open enemy line is in a kill or be killed degree. That's the 22nd degree. In crime, it does mean to be killed, to kill or be killed degree. So it is a critical degree in astrology. And this is at 6:30. It takes me to 262. 262 degrees. Now, if I wanted to, if we thought that he was farther away, I could triple that. I could double that miles, right? So right now I'm just sticking to the 262. You guys doing okay? Appreciate you all being here. Sorry I'm not very talkative in the chat, guys. I'm just kind of really want to get the basics done of this. $262. This is another line that can kind of give a direction or an area for a victim, because this line rules the victim. A direction that the victim was trying to travel or that the victim was headed. This was IC line. And this is the MC line. This is the line of Saturn. Hope everybody's doing okay. I hope everybody had a good New Year's last night. Okay, now let's do the DC line. 22 degrees. So we are looking at six, 7, 8, 82 degrees. Now, my open enemy line, my DC line, looks like it's in Gemini, which means 2 people. And these 2 people can be 30 or younger. I also plugged in the asteroid car. I used that in a couple of our cases that where we think possibly someone was taken in a car. For Sebastian Rogers, this car asteroid shows up in right here. So it's showing up in the house that rules an open enemy. Which makes me think, was there an accident in the car, or could there have been an accident with a car? I'm not sure. Just saying hypothetically. But car is conjunct Mercury as well, travel, 2 people at a 29th degree. Car, which means that that a victim can be a passenger in a car as cargo. So it rules things like trains, planes, shipments, where you're kind of like, you're not controlling the car, someone else is controlling the car, or you're transported, okay? That's kind of what this asteroid means. And it is in the 7th house that rules the open enemy. So, and it's in a Cancer sign, which can be a feminine sign. So do we have a female driver in car? Possibly, okay? Allegedly, of course. All right, so my DC is 82 degrees. Let's map that out. And if there's any other addresses that you're curious about with this case, send them to me and I'll plug them in on the map and see, you know, if it matches up to anything. If there's any other addresses, like I know that some of the suspects drove all over the place that day. So if there's any other addresses that you want me to enter, let me know. I circled like the splash pad that was near the house. I circled the other splash pad that was in Fruitland, and some of the other addresses kind of connected to this case, right? Again, like I said, it doesn't mean that I'm accusing them. I'm just wanting to see if it maps out to anything. That's all. Okay, so let's start doing the inner planets. Wait, did I label that as DC line? Remember, this is just my rough draft, guys. I will make this look prettier, and I will make it, I'll push the lines all the way out. Right now, I'm just really trying to get the bearings in. And this can be a direction of an open enemy, or how they came in, or direction that they came in at. There could be cell phone pings, you know, along that line. Could be cell phone pings along this line. It could be cell phone pings along really any of these lines, or an eyewitness account of some sort. Basically, this map is going to map some things out about this crime, okay, about this missing persons case. It's going to map certain things out that match the storyline of the future, the past, the present, okay, of the whole crime. Oh, you're welcome. 107 Mallard Street, Fruitland, Ohio. Okay. 1007 Mallard Street. .007 Mallard Street, Fruitland. So it's right next to the line of Juniper. Susie Q. There's Mallard Street, right here. You said 1007. There's 1008. I don't know why the map takes me to like the middle of the road. It never takes me like over top of the house. I always got to go back through and look for the house. This might be 1007. 1865. Is that it, Susie Q? That's Sarah's dad's house? Okay. So here's 1005. 1101. This has to be 107 right here. I'm assuming. I could be wrong. And remember, guys, please do not harass any of these neighbors. All we're doing is doing astrology, okay? We're not accusing anyone of doing anything. So I would think that this might be the house here. Does that look like the house, Susie Q? Okay. It's close by a mile marker. Okay, so, all right. Because I have Gemini ruling the DC line, I want to map out Mercury. Because this is our open enemy to Michael right here in the house that rules an open enemy, okay? So that could be two people twinning, two people like they're like brothers or like frat brothers, you know, fraternity brothers, roommates, things like that. We could have people in the local area, in the local neighborhood, because Mercury rules people in the local neighborhood. Short distance trips. Travel. I'll just show you Mercury. I mean, these are all the things that Mercury rules, but it rules travel, short distance journeys, road signs, gas stations, roads, one-lane roads, like neighborhood roads, campground roads, things like that. Neighbors. Neighborhood. These are all the things that planet rules. Keys, travel, journey. Okay. And that's the open enemy to Michael. So, and that usually means two people involved for sure here, or more than one. So two people involved or more than one, okay? 29 degrees of Cancer. Takes me to 119 degrees. Oh, Jesus. I really am hoping this doesn't take me all the way to Brandon's house or near it. Oh, shit. See, I moved my hand too quick. So this planet is ruling an open enemy to Michael, this line right here. So this could be a line that was traveled. It could be suspects spotted in this area, or it just has something to do with his crime or his kidnapping or his disappearance. And we're going to push that all the way out. Takes me out to Hamilton Corner, New Plymouth, Little Rock. It's actually following this road. Through Emmett. It's kind of in the middle of nowhere. Takes me to Boise, Idaho. Robbie Creek. Eagle, Boise, Robbie Creek. I should probably push that out a little farther. Just because this is an area that they did travel in. I don't know what this road is. It doesn't really have a name. Let me see. It's really desolate out here. I mean, you have a couple of, like, main towns, like Boise, but then there's, like, the outskirts of it is barren. Robbie Creek, this mountainous area in here. There's along this river here. What is the name of this river? Ponderosa Pine Scenic Route. That's kind of freaking me out because on the Spirit Box session that I did, they mentioned Route 20 or Route 21. I couldn't quite make it out. Of course, it's just a Spirit Box. That does not mean it's fact. But I do like to ask my spirits about crimes and missing people. And they did say something about, they mentioned like a Route 20 or Route 20 or something. I couldn't quite make it out, but that says 21. Crosses over Moores Creek Rim Road. It looks very mountainous in the middle of nowhere. Although there are roads. McCarty Glutch. South Fork Robbie Creek. So I'm curious about that because that does rule an open enemy, and it's near these addresses here that near Boise where they were at. In this area here, so it's interesting. Okay, so let's do the sun because that's a vital life force. That is 5 degrees in Leo. Takes me to 125 degrees. Let's see where that takes us. You guys doing okay? They did travel Route 20. Is it called, is it actually a road? Because that says Route 21. I haven't seen a Route 20. But that one says Route 21. I don't know. I'm really not familiar with Idaho. I keep calling it Ohio like an idiot. But I don't know why I get Idaho and Iowa mixed up in my brain. Or Idaho and Ohio. It just, those two names just cross. I get them constantly confused. Okay, so I got to go back to 125 degrees for the sun. All right, let me map that as the line of Mercury so we don't get it mixed up. This rules the open enemy. Mercury, more than one. So open enemy line, more than one person involved. And it is the ruling planet of the DC. Okay, 125. They really traveled all over the place that day. I mean, this is a lot of miles. Not saying that they're guilty. I'm just saying that's a lot of traveling in one day. Just remember, all suspects are considered innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. It is weird that the astrology is mapping them out, so I do have to tell you that, you know, they are considered innocent until proven guilty. You have to have a lawyer, a judge, you know, a prosecutor. They all have to say that they're guilty. 25. Oh, shit. All right, let's follow this down. And this is the sun. This can mean an older person involved, older than 29, older than 28. Someone who's bigger. The sun is big. Jupiter is big. The sun is big. So on a crime chart, it can be a person who represents somebody that's bigger, right? Okay, so that makes a pie section out in Boise. This also can be representative of Michael's life force, the solar plexus. and it is in the house that rules murder. It's in the house that rules open enemies, and it is a house that rules the killer or kid, you know, someone not good. Okay. All right, so let's zoom in on that, see if anything looks familiar in that area. So that does take me again through Eagle, Bromwell, let me check my battery, see how I'm doing. Okay, I'm at 40%. Notice that when I don't talk to spirits that my battery stays on. Whenever we do a spirit box session, I swear my battery, it just like, it sucks. It doesn't last. Okay, so again through Robbie Creek, through Kuna, Boise. All right, let's keep going. All right, so this is the par of fortune. Now this also can represent Michael because it is basically your sun. It's important on your natal chart. It's important. I think it's pretty important in crime. It's definitely important, like if you lost something, like a piece of jewelry, we use that. Because it represents your rising sign, which is the victim, and it represents the moon, which also can represent a second indicator of an area or a location or a description of a location where the victim might be. So again, I have him kind of cuspy here between Pisces and Aries, and it can kind of describe what our victim went through. And then he's also on a cusp between Aquarius and Pisces. So, you know, there is an indication that he could be near a water source. My spirit box said buried, so I'm not really sure. But he does have freshwater source, not the ocean. This would be like a freshwater source of some sort, whether that be a well, whether that be a fountain, whether that be a conduit, whether that be a pond, whether that be a watershed, a place where people store fishing equipment, a place where people store a boat, a dock, a pier, something like that, a place where people keep water boots or, you know, stuff to go out on a boat in, something like that, a watershed, a water processing plant, freshwater processing plant, a dam, a quarry, something like that, right? A quarry. Okay, so let's do the par of fortunes because it is the AC line, the moon, and the sun all combined into one. And if you think about it, the sun rules a vital life force, the moon rules, you know, a second indicator of where a victim can be, and it also rules the AC line, which is the victim. So I did stick it in there. So let's map that out. So that's a 12. $132. Hey, Meme Jeans. Happy New Year, sweetheart. $132. I have a lot of energy going down in this direction, which also is the house of death and transformation, a transition of some sort for the victim. It takes me to Kuna and Boise. Right on the outskirts of Kuna. So this is par of fortune. Takes me through Black's Creek, near Pleasant Valley, near Meridian, near Kuna. Near Star. Through Heritage Grove, West Boise, Hidden Springs. All right, let's keep going. Next is, should I map out Stacy and Mars? He is conjunct Mars, but it's not a close orb. Stacy is here. Stacy and Sarah. Leo, again, that can mean that he's much bigger. So, I mean, this is ruled by the sun. The sun is much bigger as a description of this person here. So let's map out Mars, which Mars means a vehicle. Mars means metal that is sharp. Sorry, my stomach is growling. Metal that is sharp. It can rule a murder weapon like a gun. It can rule accidents. It can rule anger, rage. Mars is opposed Jupiter and DNA, which isn't good on a crime chart. So there is some aggression or something towards Michael, because this planet is ruling Michael and it is opposed. Do you see these red lines? It's like the finger of God. They're tiny little yods. And then I have the Sun, Sarah, and Mercury, these two planets here opposing Pluto, which represents some type of death and transformation in Pluto. So it's like two little finger of gods coming in, and it's kind of like fated, right? So I have finger pointing down to Michael from Mars and Venus, and Stacy has opposed that. And then I have another opposition opposed Pluto in Capricorn, which how worse can it get? So that's someone wanting control. Do as I say, or you'll suffer. Do as I say, or you will suffer. Pluto in Capricorn is control, restriction. It's not good. It's really scary when you see Pluto in Capricorn, you know, especially in the 5th house, like for Abby and Libby. Pluto was in Capricorn in the 6th house. I'm sorry. So it's like service me or suffer the consequences, right? Do as I say or torture. This is control and power, restriction, death, and transformation from an authority, someone that's, you know, bigger than him. So yeah, it's not good. And that's directly affecting him, because this house rules the 1st house, which rules the victim. So it's not good. All right, so let's map out Mars and Venus. Let's see where that takes us. Because these planets are in the 8th house, which rule, you know, death and transformation. So I really think it's important that we map them out. Now, I have a lot of activity in the house of death and transformation. So I really want to map them all out. I hope you guys understand. Yeah, it is. Which one does? Stacy and Sarah are in the 8th house of death as well. One of, you know, I have 2 Sarahs. But the one Sarah that's just spelled S-A-R-A, you know, which it can represent Sarah. Allegedly, okay? Don't come for me. Don't come for me. This is just astrology. Doesn't mean that it's fact. Okay, so Mars is at 28 degrees. Mars is at 28. Let's see. I swear sometimes I need a one of those what are those things called? Not a microscope or a telescope. Not binoculars. I need one of those things that has a circle on it, a magnifying glass. I need a magnifying glass because I'm so freaking blind. Okay, 28 degrees in Leo, yes. And Venus is in Virgo. So that is 28. And this also rules a vehicle, okay? Let's not forget that. And the fact that I have Chiron in the third house of travel and Aries down here, it makes me think that something may have happened to him with a vehicle. I mean, this is why I was thinking in the very beginning with car and Aries and Chiron in the local neighborhood, that he suffers a wound in his local neighborhood. Aries can also rule murder, a vehicle. Mars can rule a vehicle, something sharp, something metallic, something metal. I mean, this is why I was kind of thinking, was he hit by a car? You know, like putting that together. I don't know. Something happened to him with a vehicle, I would definitely say. He suffered some type of wound. And I also have the asteroid Nessus in the third house of travel, Neptune, the moon, you know, and Nessus is a physical assault, right? And then we have this huge T-square going down to Uranus in Taurus, and that's, you see the T-square? It's this big red triangle. Do you see all these squares in his chart, on his crime chart? This is a lot of aggression. The sun, a vital life force. Saturn, which is a physical body, in shock, something shocking happening to the physical body. The sun, a vital life force, going down to Uranus. It's pointing down to this. This is like the climax of it, right? Pointing to Uranus and Taurus. This is kind of in the house that rules children. The fifth house rules children, rules sex, rules leisure. Eighth house rules sex too, your sex organs. And the fifth house rules hooking up, partying, doing things fun, leisure, but it also rules children. And on a crime chart, we can look at Taurus as, you know, where you're really looked at, a victim is looked at as a piece of property instead of really human. And there's something shocking with that. It can also mean the garden. It can also mean being out in the garden, okay? In Earth. It's an Earth sign. In a shed, even, where flower pots are, like, you know, flower pots, potting soil, things like that. That rules Taurus. Potting sheds. And it's something shocking. Something completely shocking happens in the house of children, either in a yard, in a shed where potting soil is held, or that this child is looked at as value. There's a value to this child, okay? Could look at it like that too. And his destiny is affected by two people, affect his health directly. More than one person involved affect his health. Because the sixth house rules your health, your service to others. You find medical conditions in here. So part of his destiny is more than one person involved, or two people involved affect his health. And it's kind of odd that Sarah's showing up at a 9th degree. The line of destiny is at a 9th degree. Brandon is at a 9th degree. Who else is at a 9th degree? Now, on the negative side, it's ruled by Sagittarius, 9th degree. It's a very beautiful sign. Sagittarians are a wonderful sign. But in crime, it can mean long distance travel. It can mean someone that's like religious, like a religious fanatic, but not in a good way, right? Somebody who's kind of like a religious nut. So I have Sarah showing up at the 9th degree like a religious nut that she is. That's kind of weird. The astrology is saying that. That she believes something, right? Wholeheartedly. Believes in something. Okay, so Mars, 28. So that takes me to 148. Let's see if that takes us down to where they're at. I think it's going to. Which is crazy because it's mapping out 2 locations that they've been. Again, not saying that they're guilty. I'm just saying that's kind of weird that the astrology is kind of tracking them in a way. One 48. My husband's up there sleeping. He's snoring so loud. He's so loud. He snores so loud, he shakes the whole house. Oh, that's my stomach. I haven't eaten all day. I keep forgetting to eat. Oh, there it goes. It did something weird. I'm sorry, guys. My stomach is making such horrible noises. I have to eat something. I think after I put the line of Mars in, we'll stop because this is going to take me a few hours. But I just kind of wanted to show you guys that it did map out the Wanderer's backyard. Really, that I think that's very important in this crime, in this case. Okay, so does that mean that they're guilty? Of course not. But it's just the astrology is mapping something out here. And this is all just to help find Michael. I'm not accusing anyone. I just want to find Michael. That's all. So this line rules a car, and this line also rules weapons, a gun, murder, violence. Opposite the house of the victim. It rules murder. I hate to say that, but it's what this planet means. What the heck? Why does it keep doing that? It's like the chart doesn't want me to go down there. The chart doesn't want me to go down there. So weird. I'm gonna cry. I'm literally gonna cry if it maps me out over top of their house. Because that's 2 locations that it's gonna map me near. Oh my God, no. It does. It maps me over their fucking house. Come on. What was it again? Okay, so a pie section does go to their house. Takes me to Kuna. What the hell? Kind of was hoping not to see that. Through Napa. Through Kuna. Here's Kuna. So this section here, this pie section here, this is where they were at. Boise, Kuna. It's mapping it out. And I'm sorry that it does. I wish that it didn't. But it does. Here's Kuna, and here's the line. All right, so this is what I have for now. I'll go back through and make it look pretty and make it nice for you guys. And then I need to map out, the next map that we'll do is, ooh, that's my stomach. I'm really sorry. I need to eat something. The next map that we do is going to be over top of the Wanderer's house. And see if that takes me to a direction. But I'm trying to really narrow down if Michael was buried back there, if he was buried back there, which day did they move him? What do you guys have an idea? What day do you think he was possibly moved? After Sarah got arrested, or like, what day do you think that they moved him? Hey, Kelly. I know, I have to eat. Do you hear my stomach? It's like, my stomach is so hungry. I haven't eaten all day. I just realized that. What time is it? I have really bad ADD, guys, and like, I forget to eat. So, okay, all right, so this is what I have for now. You know, I did think that it was pretty fascinating that the line of Jupiter, which is ruling our victim, I mean, it does go right through the Wanderer's yard, okay? I've done spirit boxes. They are saying that they're involved somehow. Now, that's just a spirit box. We're not supposed to take it as fact. I don't know what happened to Michael. I don't know if they're involved or not, but it just... I really don't know if they're involved or not, but that being so close to a mile marker is not good, guys, because this line rules our victim. So, is it a coincidence? I don't know. Could be a coincidence. Could be a complete, total coincidence. Or there could be something else to it. Okay, so this is what I have for now. I just wanted to show you that. Like I said, Kirsty has done a map already on this. Her map is always neater than mine and prettier than mine. So the next map that we do will be shooting out from over top of this house. So I think maybe I'll do their arrest dates and try to do maps for each day that they got arrested, and see if anything comes up. So, all right, guys, I love you all. Keep praying for Michael, that we will know his truth soon, that we will find him soon. Again, any names or suspects mentioned on this video are always given the presumption of innocence. I'm not accusing anyone. I'm just trying to find answers and directions. And they are listed as suspects, so it's public information. I'm not, if there's a person that's not been mentioned, I kind of cross those names out. But if they are listed as primary suspects, I feel that I have the right to pull up their asteroids and show you, okay, where they're at. And honestly, I'll be honest with you, Adrian here in that first house in Capricorn, in a house that rules home, the degree of home, the fourth house, to me, that's not good. That puts Adrian very close to our victim. I'm not going to say directly in front of, but he's in the vicinity. But all of these asteroid names are not in good positions. Stacy and Sarah being in the 8th house is terrible, okay? I have Sarah, Brandon, and Adrian all in the 7th house, which rules an open enemy to Michael. Then I have Brandon in the womb and in the tomb. I have an attack for travel. I have a wound that never heals while traveling or in the neighborhood. I have a lie on the MC line. They're trying to protect their reputation with a lie. So, the 10th degree as well. Are they trying to protect their career? They're trying to protect their reputation. This asteroid means lie. That's exactly what it is, a lie. There is a lie connected to this case. For sure. The reputation of this case, there's a lie affiliated with it somehow. So, okay. I have to eat because my stomach is actually rumbling like it's going to explode. So I will talk to you all soon. Keep praying for Michael. Take care. Blessed be. Bye-bye now. Yeah, that's what I need to figure out, Susie Q, is the day that he moved. So I think I'll do a map over top of the Wanderer's house. The next map that we do will be over top of the Wanderers. We'll map this out. We'll pull lines out from here. I think I should do the day maybe that Sarah got arrested. Or the next day. Map out the next day. I mean, I don't know. That's where I'm struggling. I've looked at the charts over and over again after Sarah got arrested. There's 3 days that look promising, but I'm just not sure. So, I mean, and with astrology, date and times are very important. And when you get arrested, it's a physical time and a physical documentation with the universe, right? When you get arrested, there's a date attached to it. Just like you have a natal chart with a birth date, a arrest date, or a crime date. When a 911 call is made, it is a timestamp with the universe. So I'm either going to do the day that Sarah got arrested, or I'm going to do the next day. But I think I should do the timestamp and just see if any of those lines crisscross with any of these lines, right? I'll do it in a different color. And if they're matching up, like if I take a line that's over the Wanderer's house and it matches up to months later, to when Michael went missing back in July, right? And see if they crisscross. If they crisscross on a mile marker, if they crisscross, I mean, I feel like that would be a hot spot to definitely look, to definitely check out and search. So, you know, I'm going to map out all the planets on this chart. All right, guys, I will talk to you soon. I really hope this helps. Yes, and the day that Stacy was arrested as well. I will. Okay, bye-bye, everyone. I got to go get something to eat. My stomach is about ready to explode. It's like, rawr, 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 rawr. Okay, love you all. Bye-bye now. Keep praying for Michael, guys, okay? Keep him in your prayers. And keep his family in your prayers. Love you. Bye-bye now.